You're standing in line at the store. 10 seconds pass. Your hand is already reaching for your phone. You don't decide to do this, it just happens. Something in you cannot tolerate an empty moment, and you probably think that's a flaw, a weakness of modern life. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Boredom isn't a malfunction. It might be one of the most important feelings you have. Here's what almost nobody tells you about it. In 2014, psychologist Timothy Wilson ran an experiment at the University of Virginia. He put people alone in a room with nothing to do but sit with their own thoughts for 15 minutes. Most people hated it. So Wilson gave them one more option, a button that delivered a mild electric shock, one most people had said they'd pay money to avoid. Given the choice between sitting quietly or shocking themselves, a large share of people chose the shock, some more than once. Why would anyone do that? Because an empty mind, to your brain, doesn't feel like rest. It feels like danger. To understand why, you have to go back. Not centuries, hundreds of thousands of years. Your ancestors lived in small foraging bands, moving across unpredictable landscapes. Food wasn't guaranteed. Threats weren't always visible. An idle mind was a liability. If you sat still too long, you missed the wind shift that meant a storm was coming. You missed the rustle that meant something was hunting you. Boredom, researchers now believe, evolved as a push, not a punishment. Psychologist John Eastwood, who studies boredom at York University, describes it as a mismatch. Not empty stimulation, but a gap between what your brain wants to be doing and what it's actually doing. Boredom isn't your brain broken. It's your brain working as designed, pushing you towards something more useful. For most of human history, that push had somewhere to go. Check the traps, repair a tool, talk to someone who might know something you didn't. Boredom moved you toward information, and information kept you alive. But here's the twist. Your brain still runs on that same push. The same restless, itchy feeling that once sent your ancestors out to scan the horizon now fires the instant a cue takes too long or a meeting goes quiet. The environment changed, the wiring didn't, and modern life discovered something about that wiring that it could exploit. Every time you feel that first flicker of boredom, there is now something in your pocket engineered to answer it instantly. A notification, a feed that never ends. Researcher Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire found something surprising. Mild boredom, left alone, tends to increase creative thinking afterward. In her studies, people who did a boring task before a creative one came up with more original ideas than people who didn't. Boredom, in other words, isn't empty time. It's incubation time. Your ancestors' minds used boring stretches, walking, waiting, watching, to quietly connect ideas in the background. Neuroscientists now point to the default mode network, the brain system that activates when you're not focused on anything in particular, linked to memory, reflection, and creative insight. You are, quite literally, doing your best thinking when you think you're doing nothing at all, which means every time you fill that gap with your phone, the instant it appears, you're not just avoiding a mildly uncomfortable feeling, you're skipping a step your brain evolved to use. So why does it feel so unbearable to just sit there? Partly because your ancestors' boredom always had an obvious next move. Check the traps, scan the tree line. Modern boredom often doesn't. You're stuck in a waiting room, or a slow line, or a quiet car, and there's no tree line to scan. Just the discomfort, with nowhere built in to send it. Your phone offers somewhere to send it instead. And it works so well, so instantly, that the push never gets the chance to build into anything. Which brings us back to that room in Virginia, and the button, and the shocks. People weren't choosing pain because they enjoyed it. They were choosing anything at all, over sitting with an unanswered push from a 200,000-year-old wiring system that no longer has anywhere to go. So the next time you feel that flicker, standing in line, waiting for a page to load, sitting in a quiet room, you might notice it differently. It's not a glitch. It's not weakness. It's your ancestors reaching forward through time, telling you to look up, to notice something, to think. You're standing in line at the store. 10 seconds pass. This time, you don't reach for your phone. You just wait, and you let your mind go wherever 100,000 generations trained it to go.